Welcome back to what Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is an M4A3E2. It's the Sherman Jumbo. As it says on the side of the tank, it says the first in Bastogne. Well, yes, this was the tank that actually broke through the German lines and rescued the US Air Force, the airborne troops who were holding out in Bastogne. It's basically a Sherman tank or an M4 with extra armour on the front, which makes it a tough cookie to destroy. And this one is on the northeast spawn of Glacier under the command of Petro123, and you can see 3 marks of excellence on the barrel. Now the gun, it's a 70, he's got the 105mm actually. Okay, so he's gone for the derp cannon. And this is going to be a rather brief but very exciting game, as you'll see. It's got extra armour on the front, this Sherman. 38mm of extra armour was applied, and this turned this M4 into an assault tank. Literally just bulldozed its way through the enemy lines. The enemy will fire rounds at it, but the rounds would just bounce off that frontal armour. And so from the front, this tank is pretty much, well, almost impregnable, you might say. It can be penetrated, but it's very difficult to penetrate it from the front. It's much easier to pen this thing from the sides and the rear. Well, Petro's the only one who's going down the perimeter road, and he's found a Valentine down in the valley below, but he loses sight of him temporarily. Must be down there somewhere. No, just can't see him. Now the 105mm gun will actually do 410 alpha, penetrating 53mm of armour, and it's got a burst radius of 1.91 meters. So it's very much the same as a howitzer on a tank. And his first victim is a Lux tank. It goes down just like that. His armour's not very thick, and therefore he's easily able to penetrate. Reload time 6.9 seconds, so 7-second reload's quite long, but, well, I suppose it's a 105mm round, remember. I know, he nearly had a shot there on that Panzer 38, but the Su-6GFT, the Chinese tank destroyer, didn't last very long. And Petro's not letting his teammate in the other tank get through because he wants all these kills for himself. Just trying to decide which one's next. Puts a round into the T-34, dodges around from an Arty. Goes for the Panzer 38, who's just bouncing rounds off him, I'm afraid. And he's gone now as well. Okay, we've got an Italian. And he just fired an AP round, but he's about to die. Oh, well, no, T-34 dies first. So that's 4 kills. P2640 just went over the edge of the cliff, and well, Petro's not going to allow that to happen, and he goes in, does a bit of a ram, shoots him, and now he's going to put him out of his misery. There you go. So that's 5 kills. Now you can see the Arty rounds arcing in. There's 2 Artys on the enemy team. They've got a cricket, or sorry, I should say grasshopper, the Panzercepsfaller 4B, and an FE304, which is slightly more accurate, and that's why he's weaving a bit, because obviously the FE304 is quite dangerous. Okay, M8A1, just the top of the turret, but that's all he needs, and that's the Top Gun. And this Strodny Viz 39 was getting in the way, and now he's found another target, an E8, and he set light to him in the engine bay, and he's gone as well, so he gets an Aslains on top. That's 7 kills. Who's next? Well, there's only Arty left actually, because the rest of the team have cleared up. So it's just a matter of finding out where that FB304 was, because he must be fairly close. There he is, dialing in. Long dial in. There you go. He's gone. That's the Radleys. One more enemy left, and here he is. It's the Grasshopper, and he goes down with 1 round, and that's a Pascucci's, and 9 kills. If only he killed that Valentine that he saw straight at the start, that would have been a chance for a Pools medal. Let's have a look at the end of battle results, and it's an ace tanker for Petro123 in the M4A3E2 Sherman Jumbo. He managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In this one he managed to get 17. An arsonist because he set fire to somebody who blew up. That was the easy 8. He also got a fire for effect for doing more damage to the hit points to his own vehicle. But out of the epics and the battle heroes, he picked up a Radley Walters Medal for getting at least 8 kills. He got 9. A Pascucci for killing 2 enemy Arty. Cool-headed for surviving the battle, having received multiple hits from non-penetrating hits in a row. Of course, that was courtesy of the Panzer 38 TNA. A high caliber for dealing the most damage in the game, and a top gun for getting at least 6 kills. And if we look at the team score, well, it's pretty obvious he's going to be top of the table with a high caliber, 2,778 hit points of damage. In fact, he's the only player who managed to get over 1,000 hit points of damage. He ended up almost scoring 3 times that amount. He did get the highest number of kills by far. In fact, he's the only player who managed to get multiple kills. There was only 3 members of the enemy team who actually managed to get a kill in that game. Very few indeed. And well, there was a number of tanks who managed to get kills on his own team, but none of them managed to get more than 1. When it came to base XP, yes, he was streets ahead of everyone else. 1,447 base, 533 to the Type 64, and the Churchill 1 managed 524. He fired only 12 rounds of 105mm ammunition, got 11 direct hits, 7 penetrations, 4 splash. Damage of 2,778 hit points, all of it at close range. He received 18 hits from the enemy. All of them were non-penetrations. They just bounce off the frontal armor of this tank. As long as you keep your front to the enemy, they can't get through, and it makes it very, very difficult for them to win. 585 hit points of damage blocked by the armor. 6 enemy vehicles spotted, 9 enemy vehicles damaged, 9 killed, and 201 hit points of damage assistance. On a free-to-play account, he earned 31,841 credits, got 10,667 from personal missions payout, and after repair and ammunition resupply, took away 40,366 credits. He received 1,447 XP, base XP, 6,512 from personal missions payout. I think this was around Christmas time, so that was probably holiday ops, and 7,959 altogether. And the battle only lasted 4 minutes and 22 seconds, which is a very short battle on Glacier, and well, that doesn't normally happen. Certainly not unless you get somebody to Unicum who just plows their way through the enemy team. And I think the enemy did make a bit of a goof by actually sending most of their team around the perimeter road instead of actually trying to fend off the enemies over the center as well. If they'd done that, it would have been much more difficult for Petro to do what he did, but he still would have picked off as many of the enemy he came across. And just goes to show how strong the Sherman Jumbo is. So it's worthwhile tank in your armory because of its ability to just bulldoze straight through the enemy's lines. So if you enjoyed this replay, please give this video a like and do subscribe to our channel, and thank you for watching.